You have now arrived at Stadium Gale.
Snap, the kick, it's been blocked again! Oh my! It's been blocked again! He's gonna heave one deep down the field. It's gonna be to the goal line. It's gonna be gone! It's a touchdown! And the Gators have won the game! Tyree Cleveland! Oh my! I can't believe what I just saw!
Dropping back to throw, pops and fires the ball over the middle. It's Dory! It's Dory! Got a touchdown! Dory's got a touchdown! Oh man! Dory's got a touchdown! Hands it off to Harvin. He comes back. Say goodbye.
Ahmad Black, in his final game as a Gator, takes it all the way home and sends Urban out a winner.
You have now arrived at Stadium Gale.
Boys and girls, ladies and gents, welcome to another episode of Stadium Gale. It's your boy Corey.
It's Dan.
And your boy Jay Scar. 2-5, what it do, baby? Y'all, that thing right there. Y'all know what it is, man. I'm glad to be back on here with y'all boys. It's been going on.
We got to hold it down with the 2-5 for my man Nick, who's out one more week. He'll be back shortly. Everybody just sit tight. Same corner, same time. We got quite the podcast. Content is low, but we got some topics and some buzz. The Gators is buzzing on the media circuit. We got to duck some rat poison. Am I lagging?
No, you're good. No, we got some rat poison ducking. We've got some arrests to talk about. It's been a long time since we talked about an arrest. No charges formally yet, but we'll talk about that. We're going to bring on Chris Urich with the Gator Diamond Pod, talk about the Gators baseball resurgence, which won a series against Texas this weekend. But before we do that, everybody had a good weekend?
Yes, sir.
Solid
Pretty
weekend.
Good, pretty good.
Yeah, it was a
It was
solid
off for
weekend.
the moms this weekend, man.
How'd you celebrate Mother's Day, bro? What'd you get into, man?
I set up a nice little song for my wife and her mother-in-law and her grandma and my mom. I set like a little paint at the house, and had a little charcuterie board set up for them and stuff like that. I had the flowers and stuff set up. Yeah. Try to do them nice because they always be talking crap about men don't know how to plan. Men don't know how to. They can't. I'm like,
Can't do anything right.
Right, pretty much. Men can't do nothing right. Men can never plan. Basically, that we wouldn't be able to operate ourselves without them. So had to show them a little appreciation and also show them that men are capable of doing these things that the women love to do and act like they can only control. So overall, they had a good time. Kept the kids out their hair for a long time until about dinner time. Then we all went over there and ate dinner together pretty much. It was a pretty solid weekend.
They would have called my bluff with that one, brother. I'm not the greatest planner of women activity. So if they would have been like, men can't, I'd have been like, you right.
Right. I feel it,
the
but
good
at the
part.
same time, it's not about how well it is. It's about the thought that counts. I mean, you got to the effort is all women really want to see at you and all in all. So.
Oh, man, I just don't know if that's the case, Jordan.
For the first couple times, and then once it keeps on going,
you know what I mean?
It's a myth, man. It's like it's not the size of the boat, it's the motion in the ocean. It's all a myth, man.
It takes a long way to get to Europe in a rowboat, Corey. I'll tell you what.
That's a fact.
In the rowboat. I had a solid weekend, man. Just a lot of family vibes, man. My son, they lost in the playoffs of his little 7-on-7 league that he plays in. Barn burner of a game, man. They lost by 1 point. They were starting to click. They just made some mistakes down the stretch, bro. But low key, I know he's right there. I was low key happy. I hate to say that and admit it, but I was low key happy. I want my kid to win, but I also got a track and field team that I already paid for that he's not participating in because he wants to be the 7-on-7. Most kids love that stuff, bro. But back to the weights full time. You know, I got my Saturdays back and then track. Feels good. Mother's Day was dope. Didn't do a whole lot. Let the wife do her thing, run around all weekend, shopping. And then we went out to eat as a family at Benny's on the beach on Lake Worth. If you haven't been there, Jordan, go check them out, man. Great little spot right here in Palm Beach.
That is called
Benny's on the beach.
Benny's on the beach. I'm gonna put that on my little list. Okay.
Yeah. So they got a 2-part restaurant. It's a part of it is on the pier that you might want to make reservations for, and then the second part is just along the boardwalk.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna check it out.
The dog is peeing in the house right now. Give me a second.
Live show, baby. Live show. Oh man. Well, I had a good weekend over in St. Pete this weekend. Shout out to all the moms. Shout out to the U.S. Postal Service that returned my mom's card. So we had to remail that this morning. So she knows we talked about it. But shout out to all the moms, all those that are listening. Really appreciate you. And hope everybody had a great weekend. Let's not keep Chris waiting too much longer. If you're watching on YouTube, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Comment, super chat's always open if you're watching on X or Twitter. Please hit the retweet button or shoot us a like button. It helps the algorithms, and we want to try to get out as much as we can. As Corey said, this is kind of going to be a hodgepodge of headlines today. So with that, let's get Brunt Insurance ad read, and then we will get Chris with the Gator Diamond Pod on.
Stadium Gale is brought to you by the great folks at Brunt Insurance and Financial Services. Anything you need insured, your home, your auto, your life, motorcycle, boat, trailer to the motorcycle, RV, my man Greg can take care of you. It's actually free to get a quote. I'm sure he can save you some money. Visit bruntinsurance.com or give him a call at 954-589-2204. I'm not telling you guys some insurance that I don't have. Greg insures my home. Great customer service. Small business. You got to support those type of dudes. He's a Gator and a great guy. Great customer service. It's hurricane season amongst us as well. It's on the horizon. So tap in with Greg. Make sure your roof is insured, flood insurance, all of that. Because once the season hit, it's just a wrap. 954-589-2204 or bruntinsurance.com. Free quotes.
Always
Big
shop your
insurance,
rates.
big policies. You always shop your rates. Correct.
Always shop your rates. With that, we're going to bring Chris Urich with the Gator Diamond Pod on. Before we do that, let's give a quick season overview of where the Gators are at. Gators 35-18, 13-14 in the SEC. Back nationally ranked 21st in the coaches poll, 23 in D1 baseball. Like I said, beat Texas two out of the 3 games this past season, on a bit of a tear right now. But with that, we are going to welcome Chris with the Gator Diamond Pod onto the show. Welcome, Chris.
Chris, what up?
Hey, thank you guys for having me. Thanks, Jordan, Dan, Corey. It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys so much.
Absolutely.
Elite stash, my boy. That's an elite stash.
Thank you.
Well, Chris, talk to us a little bit. Obviously, the season started decently out of conference to begin the season. Gators start the SEC schedule 1-11, I believe, and then all of a sudden we are potentially talking about if the Gators secure some victories here before the end of the season and make a run in the SEC tournament, that they may even end up hosting, if not be a 2 seed, which at one point this season, the idea of the Gators even being in a regional was kind of out of the question. What sparked this resurgence?
Yeah, starting out 1-11, it was tough. Sully could have gave up, rebuild for next year, but he believed in the team. The team had belief. The Gators right now are in the schedule number 4 in the country, RPI number 13. A lot of the guys kept believing. We had a lot of guys go down with injury all at once. Pretty much, we're losing 4 left-handers. We lost Frank Menendez, By Miller. We also lost Colby Shelton, Kyle Jones. There's a lot of things that when Pierce Capalla finally came back, he's back with 2 starts now in the past 2 weeks. So it's good to see him back. Colby Shelton, hopefully we can get back in about 2-3 weeks with the Heyman injury. But the Gators were able to weather through that. Big pitching from Liam Peterson, Aiden King, and then moving Clemente to the bullpen was the biggest move of the season. Brandon Neely last year was the same way. We decided to start him at a Friday night role, and obviously that didn't work. But now we're using him as like a Jake Clemente type role now to be able to go postseason.
What would you rank Aiden King amongst like Florida best freshman pitchers like all time? Like, what would you place them at?
Oh, that's tough. I definitely top 5. If I go off the top of my head, Jackson Kowar also had a big year. I think back in 2017, he was a big Sunday type pitcher. But now we have Aiden King moving into that Saturday role. He's definitely up there, top 5, not even top 2, I would say, as a freshman.
Okay.
No, he was hooping this weekend, man. Were you surprised about the play date? I know we've been on a little hot streak, but I thought we probably cooled down a little bit. And I've been not tweeting Gator baseball just because they've been hot. And when we started talking about it early, they were struggling. So I was like, let's just not talk about it and let these boys get hot before, it's all about when you peak, right? Were you surprised about their play this weekend at Texas?
I actually was in the pod. I had us winning 2 out of 3. I thought we're really high. If you look at Texas's bats, they're really cold. I think they were hitting around like 270, 280 as a team. Florida came in around 308. So I thought Florida's hot hitting. They could keep it going and then get good starts out of Liam and Aiden. Also, I thought Florida could definitely take 2 out of 3. If not for that rain delay, I think Florida should have swept that weekend, this past weekend in Austin.
What's the outlook look like for the rest of the season? I know they still have Alabama. Alabama's obviously a great team coming up. How do you anticipate us against them? Was that the next game?
Yep, Alabama comes in Thursday, Friday, Saturday this weekend. So senior day will be Saturday. So we'll have Aiden King on the mound then. I think Florida also, we just recorded an episode on that. I think Florida takes 2 out of 3. If Florida takes 2 out of 3, I think we sit pretty good hosting wise. Who would have thought a couple weeks ago that Florida at 1-11, no team has ever made the postseason post 2-11 in the SEC, more so a 1-11, and now we're looking at a spot at hosting.
Yeah,
looking at a spot at hosting.
That's a crazy run right there. I can't lie. Low-key lost faith in the beginning of the season, but shoot, we back to be better now.
Shoot, some people were cooking one of our tweets that we said at that 1-11 mark at that Vandy sweep that we pretty much said, hey, let's just start rebuild. We almost got to start rebuilding for next year because it's very glim the season to go. But the turnaround though has been really good.
Is there anything specific that you can? Sorry, Jordan.
No, you good. You good.
Is there anything specifically that Kevin O'Sullivan and the rest of the coaching staff have done over the last few weeks? I mean, I know you mentioned there's a move to the bullpen. I know you've mentioned kind of the bats are getting hot. Aiden King is electric, especially as a freshman. But is there anything else you've noticed? You obviously watch all of the games, or as many as that are available to watch. Is there anything noticeable that you've seen other than are they just a bit of a late bloomer of a team?
I think this team has what it takes to go deep into the postseason. It was just putting it together. The team just did not put it together. You're looking at resurgence of Ty Evans, a guy that just could not hit the baseball the first half of the year. Now he's starting to step up. Hayden Yost. Now you look at Justin Nadeau. Guys that we brought in to do stuff, and now they're finally starting to, finally come along. And, the bullpen wise too, there's a few guys, that we can go to that we can key in on, and then, good starts out of our pitching. So I think they're all finally putting it together. I mean, since the 19 games, we're only giving up 3.4 runs per game while scoring 8 runs per game. So
it's dominant. How much do you owe to Coral Springs High School legend David Kopp?
He's doing he's doing pretty well.
The internet wanted to fire him, brother.
People want to fire Geralman as well, but you got to give them. You got to look at the outlook injuries wise too. I think with what they have. I mean, look, Saturday we had 9 position players playing with Justin Nadeau out. It takes 9 to field a team, and we only had 9 players available. We were looking at almost putting in a pitcher. If somebody went down, we're looking at maybe Caden McDonald is a two-way player. Maybe we're looking at him DHing, right? We only have 10 position players with all the injuries we have right now.
Man.
We got Alabama and South Carolina, on deck. How do you think we fare in both those series?
South Carolina.
I think we fare pretty well. They're pitching. They have Riley Quick. Obviously, he's a projected first rounders. He's going to go. There's scouts going to be there watching him on Friday night. So he's got really good stuff. They also have Tyler Fay that will probably go Thursday, and then Zane Adams on Saturday for them. Zane Adams was their Friday night. He thought they were going to be the 1-2 punch with Zane and Riley, but Zane moved back into the third spot of their order in the pitching matchup. But they have really good pitching, and then they have also a guy named Justin LeBron. LeBron is really good. He had almost like 40 RBIs through the first 14, 15 games of the year, and he's kind of slowed off, but he's still not a guy that you can just relax on. He can definitely hit the cover off the baseball, and they have a bunch of other guys. They also have Torres that was coming from Miami. So there's guys in that lineup that we have to watch out for sure.
The offense and the bats starting to get a little bit. I know it's been a little bit up and down with the bats. Do you see a difference with the approach at the plate? Like what are you seeing differently? What are you seeing is more consistency on the offensive end?
I think offense-wise, it's more coming together. We're starting to be able to lay off pitches. We're starting to run. We're starting to steal again, and we're starting to be able to hit timely. We're trying to get timely hits out of that as well. Ashton Wilson, Blake Sear, he has some big at-bats. They do go into opposite field. Stripling comes in, gets you a 2-run RBI double into the gap. I mean, even with him just coming off the bench, guys that are just being able to, next man up. They're ready to go.
Right.
Got a couple questions. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
We got a couple questions from the crowd here. Somebody named Canes Cats Heat 305 is here. Interesting. Who's freshman pitching is better, Florida or Miami?
Florida.
He also asked if we're going to see a Florida versus Miami regional.
We could see that. Miami got swept this past weekend by Virginia.
Nice.
So say if Florida, it is nice. Say if Florida does host, you could see Miami getting that two seat spot into Florida's regional. Maybe. I would like to see that.
Do they still regionalize these things? Like they try to put as many people in the Southeast together, or is it just all pretty sporadic? Pardon my ignorance.
No, it's okay. They definitely factor that in for sure. Last year, Florida went out to Oklahoma. I took that trip out to Oklahoma last year and was able to see us take down Oklahoma State. I thought that was pretty cool. I like those kind of regionals. We see we see the Florida baseball teams a lot during the year. We see the South a lot. So facing new teams is also really good. It's also fun matchups. You don't see these teams kind of often. This was actually this weekend against Texas was the first time we've played them in the regular season ever.
Wow,
they had to catch these hands. Go ahead, Corey.
Sully was catching a lot of heat early on in the season. What from a coaching standpoint did you see anything different? I know he's had these seasons before where it get a little rocky and then the season's kind of a wash, but he bounced back and he's showing just some veteran resolve a little bit. But what are you seeing from a coaching standpoint that he's doing differently this year than he's done in the previous years?
Well, with the lineup, he switched the lineup almost. You see almost a new type of lineup almost every game. He's tried everything. He tried everything at the beginning of the season. He's pretty much told the fans, hey, what else can I do? I've done everything, but there's just the production just wasn't there. And then he started moving Bozier up into the leadoff spot, Brendan Lawson into the second, into the 2-hole, and then you plug and play with Kobe Shelton out with that 3-4 spot in the lineup. So you kind of see him trying to switch, trying to figure out where can I put guys that know that I can get RBIs out of. I can get guys on base. I can be able to steal. I can be able to run. I think that's the biggest parts of the year that he's done so far.
What do you expect differently when Kobe Shelton returns?
Yeah.
It's going to be tough because the Heyman injury is very nagging. So just being able to him get swings, I just want to see him get swings. That's it. If he can get really good swings and he starts getting a good feel, then we could be potentially make a deep run because his bat in the lineup is huge. I mean, he's sitting, I think, 346 right now.
Damn. Yeah, that'd be huge. What do you think? Obviously Florida's not been perfect. They're still under 500 in the SEC. They're on a bit of a tear. What are still some of their weaknesses that they need to focus on these next couple weeks?
The weaknesses, we can go lineup real quick. just the middle parts of the game sometimes get slow, but then guys take at-bats off. We're seeing we saw Grubbs last weekend. He threw pretty much sliders to everybody. Guys are just not laying off that slider. He struck out almost 5-6 guys in a row just on sliders. It's just knowing your scouting report, knowing what guys are going to throw to you, and it's just being able to just lay off those pitches and find your pitch. I think some guys we're pull happy on this team, and when we see them go backside, they do great things. But there was just too much pull happy, and we just need to see them be able to go opposite ways too, to be able to get hits. Pitching wise, we're in a little weakness in our bullpen. We're looking at guys like McNeely and Philpott to bridge us to Clemente. Clemente does a great job at giving us 2 to 3 innings, but Clemente's a closer. He shouldn't have to go 3 innings almost every time to get us a save. We need guys like Philpott, McNeely, and then now Christian Rodriguez is also doing really well in the bullpen as well. So we need guys like them to bridge that 6th to 8th inning to be able to get to Clemente. Even in the 8th inning, we can still look at Clemente. But if we can just use him for 1 inning at a time, that's much better than having to use him 2 to 3 innings and get his pitch count up.
How long do you think we keep a guy like Aiden King around? Like, what's his pro prospects look like?
So baseball's a little bit different. If you don't go pro out of high school, you have to wait till you're 21 on draft day, or you spend 3 years at the program. So with Aiden King coming to Florida, we have him until 2027. Okay. So we have him for a good amount of time. Obviously, NIL role plays into it. Guys like to, see the money. That's where Florida needs to come in and spend a little bit. But Aiden King is a homegrown kid, played at Bishop Snyder High School, so right in Jacksonville. So I think really good with him to be able to keep him at Florida.
How does Florida's NIL look in the baseball world? I know it's not as strong as maybe Texas A&M, a few of these other, LSU maybe, but how do they stack up?
I think, obviously, I don't know money. I don't know the money part, but I know that Sully last year got a lot more money than he did the previous year to be able to go spend. So I think we're going to get more each year. So I think this year we're going to have a little bit more, and I think Florida is going to definitely need to go out and get a veteran arm, definitely get a veteran bat in the lineup as well. We saw us go get Billy Barlow. Billy Barlow's been he's been shaky. So he was our top arm coming out. He was our only pretty much, him and Matthew Jenkins, pretty much our only arms out of the transfer portal. And obviously they've kind of both been a little bit shaky, but they both pitched really well this past week, I would say. Barlow gave us 4 innings of no earned run ball against Texas.
It could be your best case scenario for this baseball team, man, going forward, bro. We usually have my guy Nick here to lie for us and to hype this baseball team up, but he hasn't been here. I appreciate you for filling in. But what do you see the ceiling for this team in the postseason?
You always got to trust Sully. Sully always has his guys ready for the postseason. I think right now, being able to have Pierce Capalla back, now we got 3 arms. Right now, we saw him go 2 innings, 43 pitches. Now in Alabama series, we can maybe see him get up to 50, 60. And then for postseason play, if he can get back up to 70, 80, 90 pitches and be able to give us 5, 6 innings, Florida's going to be really set because that sets up our bullpen really well. Not having to even have a bullpen day where we can be able to use our starters and go far deep into games.
Let me ask you this question, Chris. College sports. Just trying to get a feel for what type of sports guy you are, man. In college sports, what's your favorite postseason? Bowl season football, college football playoffs, NCAA basketball, or college baseball?
Oh, that's a tough one. March Madness, I really like, but nothing hits better. As a baseball fan, nothing hits better than that college baseball postseason, especially seeing it live. Seeing it live is it's just fun. It reminds you, especially the first regional, because it almost reminds you of travel ball days. You get to go and watch so many games for 3-4 days at a time, and then you get to host a regional or go to a regional, and the crowds are usually packed out. And pretty much if you even go to a rowdiest crowd like the Clemson one, that was pretty ruckus. But it is always fun going into hostile environments like that. But obviously, at the end of the day, nothing beats March Madness, though.
Corey, if Florida plays Miami in the regional, I might have to make a return
Ooh.
trip back to that berm. That right fielder's got to hear Dan Thompson.
Dan's a 5-star heckler.
It was funny.
Go ahead.
It was funny because in Oklahoma State, when I was there, they had little kids in the outfield heckling Jake Clemente, calling him a scrub. I mean, they're kids, but there's some language in there that they definitely probably shouldn't be saying. But it was kind of I'll keep it G-rated.
All right, right now looking it up, Hard Rock Bet, not a sponsor of this show, but Florida plus 2,500 to win the College World Series, and then for the Miami fan in the crowd, they are plus 10,000. How much money should I put on Florida plus 2,500? The whole mortgage, or
you get Colby Shelton back, and you get a healthy Pierce Capalla back? You might have to throw that because Florida
throw the mortgage.
Deep. Might have to throw it. Florida looks deep.
Hey, Chris, the disclaimer, Chris. The disclaimer, Chris.
Who goes? So right now, looking just at some of the rivals, Tennessee's plus 650, Arkansas's plus 400, Georgia's plus 1,000, Florida State's plus 1,600, Florida, like I said, is plus 2,500. Who do you think has the best odds to win in your mind? Not just the order that I read them in.
Say Florida. You know what? I'll say this so Tennessee. They've lost four. They've lost 4 straight home series as Tennessee has. They're really slumping. Arkansas hasn't looked great. They even lost to us 2 out of 3, and then they ended up. And then you got Florida State. I mean, how can we ever pick Florida State? Never. They always choke in the postseason.
I know.
Straight up.
They did it to honor Mike Martin last year by losing the College World Series. I do want to ask a quick question. Gators up 8-1 on, I think it was Friday's game. A batter comes up from Texas, quite smug. Talking real greasy.
John Williams.
Yeah. What? I thought that he was going to get a pitch thrown at him. I think about 10 years ago, that's what would have happened. Was he like that all game? Did he just come in? Like, what's the situation? Give me a little backstory. I didn't get to watch the game.
So with him, from what I read, is he's actually like that. He really likes to try to hype himself up. He's a 17-year-old kid. So pretty much he's also, I guess, I don't follow recruiting as much. You guys probably do. He's a 5-star football recruit, number 10 composite, I think somebody said. So he's supposed to play, I think, defensive back, I want to say. I don't know off the top of my head what he's supposed to play, but yeah, he's just a big hypester person. I don't know what they were trying to do. He definitely should have took a 95-mile-an-hour pitch in the back or the butt. I definitely think that we should have, but Jackson Barbary gave him the blessing, and then C-Rod humbled him with a nasty changeup to end the game. So I thought that was really good with that.
I mean, I think there's a time to talk greasy, and it's not when you're down 8-1, but I'm not a composite, I'm not there.
Which is crazy because the next game they got blessed by a rain delay because Liam Peterson was rolling through 4 innings, but Jonah Williams was actually he had a bases clearing double to give them the 5-2 lead, and they ended up finishing the game winning. So I thought that was kind of funny that, he was anting the Friday night, and Saturday night he ended up doing that, and then Sunday he wasn't even really a factor in Sunday's game.
It reminds me of a DB doing the no-fly zone when you're down like 63-7. You know what I mean?
From
Trey Dean.
Irrelevant. Hey, dude. What's this Trey Dean?
Big Trey Dean vibes, man.
You're not wrong.
Cleveland Browns legend. All right. Chris, we appreciate you coming on the show. What's the other prospect? I think Florida should easily clear South Carolina in 2 weekends. Prospect this weekend. I think Gators 2 out of 3, 3 out of 3.
2 out of 3, but so we don't play South. We already played South Carolina. We go to the SEC tournament, so it'll be this weekend is the last series of the year, and then the SEC tournament starts next Tuesday. I want to say the play-in games next Tuesday. Florida sits at a 10 seed right now in the SEC, If they win, there's a lot of shakeup. A lot of teams are really like 13, 14 wins. So Florida could jump up to even, I think, 7. If they take 2 out of 3, I want to say, or sweep, they can move up to, I think, 6 in the SEC.
Okay. That's still in Hoover? Still doing that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep, Hoover.
All right. Well, Chris, let everybody know you have a great podcast, covers all things Florida Gator baseball. Let everybody know where they can follow you. We appreciate you coming on the show this afternoon.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you guys can follow us at Gator Diamond Pod on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. Right now, we're mostly focusing on Apple and Spotify right now, and then on X as well, Gator Diamond Pod. If you guys would like to check us out, we're on there.
Awesome. Well, Chris, we appreciate you coming on the show, my friend, and we will talk with you soon. Everybody go check out Gator Diamond Pod. And Chris, we may have you on the show in the next couple of weeks, depending on if our fearless baseball guy's back.
Yes,
love to be there. Thank you guys so much.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Chris.
Take care, Chris.
Gator Diamond Pod, go check them out. Great information that is on a run of runs. You get hot at the right time. Hopefully they can stay hot. Corey, you had a lot of very good, pertinent baseball questions. You've been following along?
I've been watching, bro.
Yeah.
It's just the off season, bro. And basketball has gotten me. I was plugged in all year. I haven't been as plugged in with baseball, but as they got hot, I've been, watching more. This past weekend, that Texas series was super entertaining. So I was like, man, let me reach out to these guys. They be pretty active on the timeline. Let's see if we can get them on the show and talk some baseball. Them boys hot. Shout out to Sully. Y'all try to fire Sully every year.
It's nuts, right? You got to learn your lesson at some point, right? He's been here, 18 years now? They seem to figure it out.
You figure it out every time. Sully ain't going nowhere. He's like herpes.
There's one coach that I have.
It's like herpes.
If there's one coach I have the utmost faith in behind like Mouse Holloway, it's like Kevin O'Sullivan will figure it out, right?
For sure.
All right. Well, let's get on to our headline only show today. Before we do that, let's give a shout out to our friends over at Home Field Apparel. Go check out homefieldapparel.com. They got about 5 different pages worth of Florida Gator stuff, including the basketball national championship merch, the baseball national championship merch from way back in the day too, but a bunch of different stuff that you can look at. Go visit homefieldapparel.com, use promo code Stadium and Gale at checkout. You'll get 15% off of your order, 1 per email address. Again, that's homefieldapparel.com, promo code Stadium and Gale. All right, guys, we will rip the Band-Aid off. Over the weekend on 10 days ago. Well, no, it was a couple days ago. 10 what?
You said 10 days ago.
No, not 10 days ago. Sorry. A few days ago, Dijon Johnson was arrested in Tampa, was pulled over by the Tampa police at 11:20 for running a stop signal, pardon me. They detected as an odor of burned marijuana, stated Johnson was argumentative, initially refused to exit his car. After searching the vehicles, they discovered marijuana, 8 grams of synthetic marijuana, and a loaded Glock 19 handgun with 17 rounds in the magazine. He faces charges of a second-degree felony of possession of a firearm during a commission of a felony, third-degree felony for possession of a controlled substance, that was synthetic marijuana, first-degree misdemeanor possession of cannabis less than 20 grams, and resisting an officer without arrest. He was booked into jail at 1:31 a.m., was released the next day on an $8,500 bond. His attorney, Tim Taylor, has come out and said that with dialogue with the state attorney's office, that no formal charges have yet been filed, and that they're going to continue to review all pertinent facts and information before any charging decisions are made. Johnson has written a plea of not guilty to all charges. There was a discussion about potential another controlled substance on there. That came out to potentially be creatine. Johnson has said that the gun does not belong to him. He did not know what was in the car, and we are waiting and seeing what happens with that piece of information. So important to talk about. Any thoughts?
Yeah, that's a tough pill to swallow, man. First and foremost, obviously, we never want a player to kind of go down like that, going outside, but let's just call a spade a spade. It's been a while since we've seen a Gator in trouble. Gators usually get in trouble, but wasn't even in the city this time. So I don't even got the excuse for you to say, hey, you was in Gainesville, there's nothing to do, all type of blah, blah, blah. But overall, man, be safe and be careful. I mean, I hate to say it like this, but if you're gonna be doing bad, don't be doing double bad. If you got drugs in the car, brother, leave the gun at home.
Yeah, he's saying he didn't know it was in there, but yeah, I'm with you. Wow, like there is, like, we'll see if they're not, like, it depends on what it's his first time in real trouble. So a lot of times they have pre-trial interventions where you could do minimal things to kind of get it thrown out. Doesn't affect your record. Of course, they're talking about the creatine, that being a substance abuse. Of course, that's going to get dropped. But I'm with you, man. He wasn't totally innocent. And I get some people saying, like some people's in my mentions, you jumped the gun saying that he made a mistake. Yeah, there were mistakes made, you know, like
I don't care how
regardless, there were mistakes made, and that's fine. You know, that's a part of development as well. Like, you can't quit on kids as soon as they make mistakes like this. That's a part of, like, you know, when you recruit these kids and you bring them in, we're going to take them from boys to men and teach them how to be men. And this is a part of being a man. You know, he made a mistake. He's a good kid from what I know, you know, things I hear about him as far as his work ethic and the way he show up for his team and all of that stuff is on point. So I expect him to bounce back fine, but I hopefully it's a warning sign for everybody else on the team. You know, it's off season, everybody kicking it, chilling. They back home with their friends. You can get a little loose, you know, feeling yourself about, you got NIL money in your pocket, a nice car. It's a couple red flags that went off in the area.
Tampa originally? Is that why he was up there? Oh, no, that makes a lot of sense. He just in the hood. He in his city, feeling too comfortable, feeling like the man, riding around a little too crazy, thinking everybody gonna touch you, but it's people everywhere, brother. You got to be careful. Got to move smarter than that.
Likely you're driving a very expensive car, loud car, some SRT.
This ain't no, you ain't driving in no Honda Civic no more to it. You might get bypassed. Like,
right.
Yeah. It's
but overall, you know, it's not a make or break situation at Florida where you got to worry about him getting expelled or anything crazy like that. You know, make him run some stairs at worst. Missed the first couple of games.
Yeah. He gonna get that punishment. I don't know what Nate them boys do, but when we got in trouble, you had to pay for it with the suspension and through that hard work. You gonna get that work in from getting in trouble now. So I don't know if they keep
what type of workout they had you do. You had to, like, bear crawl the whole field. Like, what type of?
It used to be called Dawn Patrol. So basically, you do 20 minutes of Stairmaster straight, then you'll do the stadium after that.
Dude.
That's crazy.
Nigga, listen, I'm y'all know how fit I was when I was playing running back, bro. That Stairmaster, you want to cry on that motherfucker. It's because, like,
I know.
Stop. Same pace.
Them stairs is coming. You're not running out of them.
Putting you at 7. This ain't no slow. We're putting you at 7 in 20 minutes. I'll be back. You better not get on. And you used to do that. That had your legs dead. Then you got to go do the stadium after that. And this is at the crack of dawn, 5:30 in the morning. We out before the sun come up. So
how many days of that you had to do?
It depends on what it was. If you miss if you miss a certain amount of tutoring sessions, or you miss class too many times, they'll get you on Dawn Patrol one day. But if you got suspended or something, I think you'll have it for when I got in trouble both times, I got it for a week. The whole week I had to do Dawn Patrol. 5 a.m.
What kind of patrol? Dog patrol?
Dawn, D-O-N.
Dawn. Crack of dawn, baby.
Yeah, I don't know why they called it that. They had that name. I was like, our strength staff kind of had that name. You know, Coach Mark Campbell used to be one of our strength coaches, and Mike P was another strength coach. So I don't know if that was from their time and what they used to call it or whatever. But when I got there, it was already called Dawn Patrol. So it was that early morning. Grass still got the dew on it. Ain't no sun out.
It might be DAWN, like dusk and dawn.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think it's that Dawn Patrol.
Probably,
I'm imagining some mafia Don out there. He's like chasing you up and down the stairs. You know what I mean?
Nah, you're the only one running unless you got a buddy that's in trouble with you.
Yeah, between Dijon Johnson and then you had the Miami. I'm forgetting his name right now. Darius Hayes. Between both of those events, I think it's like a cause for just awareness for everybody in college football to kind of pump the brakes.
All them boys back on point and be like, maybe I shouldn't slide with them boys tonight. Maybe I shouldn't ride with this in the car. Maybe I shouldn't, make you think again. Because especially for a lot of dudes coming out potentially this year off a big season, hopefully they reconsidering the way they're moving in the offseason right now. So I agree. I think this is a nice wake-up call for the rest of our players to kind of be on point and also take care of your brother, man. He's in a dark time right now. He's in a situation to where obviously his character is being judged and he's going against a lot of legal things as well. So I hope them boys checking on him, making sure he's all right and moving forward like that.
Were you reading the tweets when you was in trouble? Are you social media?
Hell,
you logged off?
hell. I think one time I wasn't even reading it on purpose. My freshman year when I got caught with a weed in my dorm, somebody had replaced the football for a big bag of weed as like an edit. Like literally, like me in my Gator uniform, the ball is a bag of weed. I'm like, bro, I'm off this fucking app, bro.
I gotta find that.
Yeah, it's up there somewhere. It's in, nothing goes anywhere else. It was on Twitter. Literally, a dude had like me with a bag of weed in my hand. I'm like, bro,
as you with a bag of Reggie carrying that thing.
Yeah, I'm like, what y'all got going on, bro?
Stems and everything.
Yes. I was like,
that's probably the clutch like MJ.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, people got no filter on Twitter. Bro. I just learned like you can't fault them boys, bro. Everybody got freedom of speech. Everybody gonna say what they want to say. You gave them the ammo to say that. So how mad can you be? So,
now you gotta log off when the tragedy hits, man.
Come on, come back in a little bit. You'll be all right. They'll be showing you love once you score a few TDs and do something nice.
From the position standpoint, and I know we're gonna move on from this, but we were talking before this, like Cormoney McClain and that DB2 position, because Devin Moore, if healthy, is probably cornerback 1. We just need to bubble wrap him. He stay healthy. He's gonna lock down the side. Fastest guy on the team, people were saying. Cormoney and Dijon is the battle we're watching to see who kind of locks that spot down. Dijon was out most of the spring. Availability is everything, right? He was out most of the spring. Now he may face a possible early game suspension, and that's going to affect how you get reps in camp, right? So I think he left the door cracked a little bit for 25 to kind of, grab a hold the reins of that position. Well, I think both are going to be rotational guys and get started like snaps, but I think he left the door cracked for 25 to take it and run with it.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, sometimes the best ability is availability, right? We've talked about that, and I mean, Cormoney was no slouch in high school, and obviously he's somebody that's taken maybe a little bit of time to see some extended playing time, but everything that we heard about him this offseason was that he was not only taking football seriously, that he was truly shining on the practice field. So obviously it would hurt to lose Dijon. I had a lot of high hopes for him even before he came to UF, and there's still that opportunity, right? I think that some of these charges will end up not being carried through. And I think that Dijon is going to, learn a lesson, and it's going to probably be a tough lesson, and it's going to probably be an expensive lesson to learn along the way. But, for anything, it gives an opportunity for some of these guys to see the field. And, fortunately this year, I don't know what's going to happen legally here with Dijon, but you at least start this season against LIU and then USF. Right. So we have an opportunity to, see what those guys are and then see what they're about. And, hopefully the rest of the team, can learn that lesson. And sometimes seeing one of your brothers go through it or one of your teammates go through it is the eye-opening experience that you need, or, you see somebody from another school that's involved in an incident. And sometimes it's just hey, I need to slow down for a second. Life in the fast lane can catch up to you, and, being smart about, who you get a car from or who's in your car and what they're leaving in your car and everything else. So, hopefully the situation, is, handled swiftly and he learns a lesson and, ultimately just make good decisions and be careful, be safe when you're driving a car. And, as somebody that's had, a former teammate of mine die by, somebody that was a drunk driver, really hits hard when you're doing substances and you're in the car. So just be safe and be careful. I don't want to be preachy or anything like that, but just, be careful. And hopefully this is a lesson for him.
For sure.
Yeah.
And just to add on to that real quick, I'm not sure if he'll actually get suspended, to be honest with y'all. Call me crazy, but I think usually it's when it's a school campus type issue or something involved in the school, is to where head coaches initiate kind of suspending it when the school's involved. But considering that it was all the way in Tampa, and he'll have to obviously still deal with the legal side of things, that's going nowhere. But as far as him on the football field, I wouldn't be surprised if they just leave it where it's at.
Maybe we'll see. It's obviously something that we haven't seen a lot of at the University of Florida. If you take a book out of the University of Georgia page, probably not. But we haven't seen, fortunately for UF, haven't really seen the incidences of getting arrested or having some of these legal issues, which is a net good thing. We really don't know how Billy Napier is going to respond to this. So, I think that there could be a suspension. I think playing LIU game 1 maybe makes that choice a little bit easier. And, sometimes you've got to take something away from somebody that they love to reinforce that, but we'll see. I
think you take away that USF game is going to sting them. Like being back at home, a lot of family want to come to that game. Like if you want to make a guy
hungry, you really want to hit home. Let them play the first one and take them off for the second one. That'll really vital right there.
Yeah. Like Michigan's coach who announced that he was going to suspend himself for game 3 and 4. Not game 1.
That guy. Yeah, I like how you move. It's like giving yourself your own prison sentence. Like, I'll do 2 months. How's that? How's that, Judge?
Yeah, work release program too. I'll come here at night, leave during the day.
Yeah, little house arrest.
All right. Well, let's get into some more headlines. Speaking of headlines, Zaquan Patterson, if you guys are following, it's been maybe the longest transfer recruitment that I've ever seen. He announced that he's going to go to Oklahoma State. So we'll move on from him, but leaving Coral Gables for Oklahoma State has got to sting for Canes Heat, whatever his name was, 305. Canes Cats Heat 305. If you're still listening. I do want to give
nasty work though. I do want to just point that out. It's a lot of nasty work going on. Like we talk about that from like our players leaving, but I'm not even a Miami fan. Some of these kids are just chasing coins. And Ty Grantham is out there, Oklahoma State, right? You leave, like, what are you going to Oklahoma State to go do? They're not producing like that out there. I've been chasing the NIL bag. If you believe in your abilities, you can't be jumping for minuscule dollars, $5,000-$10,000 to go live in. I would have took the pay cut and stayed in Miami. I'm gonna be real with you. That's just me.
Come on, them boys know they're not gonna play. They know they're gonna ride that pie. Yeah, they don't got faith in themselves. They ain't willing to gamble on themselves and compete. Which I was having this conversation with my brother the other day. I said, Brett, NIL and the transfer portal is gonna take the competitiveness out the game. Like, it ain't gonna be no more what I don't know what year was the Miami Hurricanes where they had all them 5 running backs, Frank Gore, Clint Portis, all them boys. Like, it's no more of that anymore. Even when Georgia had Todd Gurley, Nick Chubb, Sony Michel, like, you're no longer gonna see that anymore because everybody has the option to leave. Everybody has the option to go make more money and do more things. So I possibly think we're actually gonna see a decline in like talent-wise and just production at the college level because you don't got nobody pushing you. You're going to go there, be the man. They ain't even going to push you to be better because you consider the man there already. We already paid you the big bucks. You don't got to work hard. You don't got no fire up under your butt to kind of push you to move forward and make plays every day and work hard in practice. So we'll see where it
Greg
goes.
Smith also, I don't know if you got Greg Smith on your list. Go ahead.
No, I don't. UNC. No,
you end up choosing UNC.
Yeah.
Which is more nasty work. And if I'm not sure how true it is about them possibly moving him to linebacker, but if you leave Florida where you're getting good development, in a very good room, you're getting as a true freshman, you got meaningful snaps, a lot of reps in the spring. You got some guys ahead of you that can play. Bryce Thornton, Castell's penciled in as a starter, but you're going to get some reps. They're going to play 5 guys in that safety room. If you go to a whole new defense and maybe a new position and a new coach, new defense, like you gotta learn a whole lot of new stuff, and your development starts from all over from scratch at one.
And you're going I don't think it's easy to move all this from drama too.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, there's all this drama at UNC right now too. There's gotta be just a ton of noise there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like with Bill Belichick and his
Bill Belichick got baby
girlfriend,
mamas from him. That's
whatever's
crazy.
going on and about whatever's being reported out there. I'm like, man, it's got to be noisy in there. But yeah, I mean, let me ask you this quick question, Jordan. It was for some reason my computer lagged. I was going to ask you, what do you think? Like, obviously, you play in the NFL. One of the things that we talked about before you joined the show a couple months before was like one of the things that I worried about with the transfer portal that I've heard from like people that would know like far more about the NFL is like they're worried about a lot of these kids' development, right? Because they're not sitting and they're not learning and they're not really taking that progression that they need. And it's, you know, they're going from one program to another that can be vastly different. And then they're chasing another opportunity to be vastly different. Do you think that that's going to affect, you know, their prospects of the NFL or, you know, and obviously in the NFL, like I know you can bounce around and stuff, but do you think that that's a cause for concern as somebody that made it there?
Yeah, definitely. That's kind of what me and Corey was hitting on as you kind of lagged out.
Okay.
That, like, I'm scared of this next generation of players is because one, it's not going to be no more stacked teams to where, like I was saying with the Hurricanes, where they had Frank Gore, Clinton Portis, like all these great running backs in one room, or like Georgia, where they had Todd Gurley, Sony Michel, Nick Chubb all in one room. Like those guys got better because they were in that room together through their years in college. Like I don't think they would be the same players that they are. I'm not saying that they wouldn't be good. I think they would still make it to the NFL at any team they would be at. But I don't think their talent level would have went that high and their competitiveness would have went that high if they were at another team. Let's just say Sony Michel transferred to USC just because he's not playing, or Nick Chubb goes to whatever, Texas, because he's not playing. Like, I think they'll go there, they'll be the man, and coaches will basically baby them because, hey, I just paid you all these big bucks, so you don't have to work out extra after practice. I'm not encouraging you to do anything extra. You're already that guy to me. Versus him being at Georgia, you're almost pushed every day because players are – it's dudes that's better than you in that room. It's dudes who
try through the fire.
Exactly. It's dudes who are a coin flip away from taking your job for real. Like, so you got to bring your A game every day. Like, I even felt that at my time at Florida. Like, obviously, I never went anywhere else to experience how other programs work. But for us as running backs, team run was like everything to us running backs. Like, that was our everything. Like, we took pride in that. That was the first thing we pull up when we went in the film room was team run. Like, we wanted to make sure that that was like our best period because the defense know we running the ball, ain't no pass plays, and if we able to get home run hits on y'all, and y'all know it's a
inside
run
drill.
It's still receivers.
To the receivers. Okay.
Yeah, we bring 2 receivers in, so maybe it'll be like 10, but it's still close to 11 players on the field, and the defense knows it's run. So like that's the type of period where, as a running back and offensive line, if we can execute that and get big home run hits out of that, we know we good. We know that we doing what we're supposed to do on offense, and vice versa for defense. Like if they're able to shut the run down, even though we trying to scheme up and make the best run play possible in the thing, like that's a good working period. So for us, I feel like that made running backs better, and we were always willing to compete each and every day when we went over there. Like everybody get, I think we'll probably get like 6 reps a piece. It'll go like 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Switch it again, and everybody keep getting 2 until everybody got 6 reps until you run.
Yeah, but I think two different points, right? I think it's going to, the development is hurting because now they're not just doing it on the college level; they're also transferring like that on the high school level as well. Like these kids are bouncing around, so you see the tendencies in high school, then you see it translate to college as well, the bouncing around. But if you look at the NFL draft, they said 25 out of the 32 first rounders were all guys that never transferred. So the NFL is looking for the guys that are sitting there and going through the process and developing, because you can't run in the league. There's nowhere to go. Once we draft you, you can't just say, put me in the portal, I'm not starting.
It's a good stat there, Corey.
I had a second point that I was going to, in the evaluation process, I think the staff, I like to get flowers. I'm gonna criticize these guys throughout the season if they make mistakes. Y'all already know. Y'all listen to the show, but like talent acquisition, they do a good job. So we did have Greg Smith and D-Rob that hit the portal looking for bigger bags, but in the grand scheme of it, they're doing a good job evaluating those guys that are gonna sit around and be there for a while. And you can figure that out in the recruiting process. Like every time you're calling them, just talking about NIL money. We just lost a linebacker that was in that type of that mode, and you gotta let those guys go. They're doing a good job of finding guys that want to sit there, and go through the process and not chase every little diamond bag. So overall, we're in a good spot. I wish we would have got a safety to replace Greg Smith in some capacity. I know in the comments they're asking about I always say his name wrong. I don't want to call him Asa. Is Asa? Asa Martin. I don't know. Asa Turner. I don't know if I know he's returning. I don't know. It hasn't been clarified if he's coming back as a Gator. But he does have another year eligibility. But I haven't heard anything about him suiting up for us whatsoever. So I just don't know. To the person that's asking in the comment section.
Yeah, it's kind of been ho-hum. Corey made a great point. He said, don't chase a diamond bag, and also don't chase a dime bag.
Yeah. No.
That's great advice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can put that as a future video and just quote me. Just give me the quote, Drew. That was pretty good. You guys can take that. That's good, just good advice. Don't chase a diamond bag and don't chase the dime bag.
A dime bag.
All right, let's see. Shout out to the football team. 3.48 GPA for spring 2025. 86% of the team at a 3.0 or higher. 8 guys that had a 4.0. 7 players graduated, which is just really awesome to see, including Trayon Webb, who is, as you know, going into his junior year of college. So
Trayon Webb is put himself in a great spot, no matter how it shakes out. Like, that room is deep. We were just talking about, those crowded rooms. We do got a room that's very talented and one of the best in the country when it pertains to running backs. But Trayon Webb's been battling some injuries and getting back. Regardless of how it shake out, he's a Gator. He got his degree, came in, handled business in 2 years. So whatever he decides to do, going forward, he got plenty of eligibility left. He's got his degree. I think he's going to be fine regardless. He makes his way to success no matter how it shakes out. I think he goes to the NFL. He's already got his degree. We want to stay another year or two. He's got graduates can transfer at any time. Like, you got a portal window for regular guys, but when you're a graduate transfer, you can bounce in that portal at any given moment. So shout out to Trayon Webb and what he got going
on. SEC transfer rules don't apply to graduate transfers either, I don't believe. And then I kind of buried the lead there. 68 people are players on the team with over a 3.5 GPA, which is just incredible. So shout out to the guys. It broke the previous mark. So again, the Gators had a 3.48. The previous high mark that they ever had was in 2024, and that was a 3.37. So
let me ask you something, Jordan. A football player 4.0 is it the same as like a regular student 4.0?
Hell no. What they call that when you top of your class, summa cum laude, something like that. Yeah. So football player getting a 4.0, you might as well put him in that category right there, because you did that, brother. Because it's just a lot to
extra help. You know what I mean, Corey?
Yeah, I was about to say, what type of help y'all get though?
Yeah, I think Corey took it the wrong, or Jordan took the wrong side of that.
We do get the help, but let's be real. If anybody's getting a 4.0, so it's just some things a tutor can't do, because these two things don't correlate, because the tutor is doing your work essentially is what we're hinting at. Then you would go and do very mediocre on the test.
That's
exactly. And that will not give you a 4.0, because that's just not how that works. So he's probably actually using the tutor to teach him, and he's very intelligent, and he's taking that same stuff and applying it in the classroom when it's time to go take that test. And he aces the test on top of his work, and that's how he gets a 4.0. That's why I salute to those kind of guys. He's not just your average player who's like, I go to my tutoring classes, I get my work done, and I go and get a C+ on the test, and I'm fine because I got all A's on all my assignments, so it evens out.
That 2.5 guy's the guy you got to watch, huh?
Come on, yeah, you feel me? So if I see you with a 4.0, bro, you handling business, because you're taking care of what you need to on the assignment side, as well as you going to crushing the exams or whatever quizzes you have, discussion posts, etc. So salute to them dudes who are up there, and I'm really happy for them boys resetting the GPA margin. Keep it up, get it higher.
Need to make sure my boy Bet participates in those discussion posts. You know
Oh,
what I mean? That was
100%.
big part of getting your grade now. Gators announced their homecoming game. It's going to be against Mississippi State. It's really the only weekend, if you looked at it, that made sense. That's going to be October 18th in Ben Hill. Griffin, Gators 73, 26-2 in homecoming games, 31-5 since 1989. And last season they beat Kentucky 48-20 during homecoming. Want to give a quick look out. We've talked about the draft, quite a bit here. This is going to probably be the last time we talk about a mock draft here. But Pro Football Focus did their 2026 mock draft, and they have both Jake Slaughter and Tyreek Sapp. Jake Slaughter going 20th to the Houston Texans, and then Tyreek Sapp 28th to Kansas City, which would be a great landing spot. Baby. Both of them. Oh boy. All right. Let's see. SEC championship odds came out. Florida 20-1. Buying or selling? How much money are you putting down?
Bankroll, baby.
Bankroll.
Let's do it.
I mean, we told people to parlay that Gators basketball, baseball, and football national championship. You'd be a multi-billionaire. I think you'd be $100 $100+ billion if the Gators did all of that. So I'm sure there's at least one of you savages that did that. Contract details. Some new contracts came out that was reported by Gators Online. Russ Callaway has a new 2-year deal worth $1.4 million. He's going to earn $675,000 and then $700 in 2025, and then $725,000 in 2026. That represents a $125,000 and a $175,000 increase over what he made last season. Ron Roberts got a $200,000 raise in 2025. He's going to earn $950,000 this season after making $750,000 last year. Gerald Chapman signed a 2-year deal worth $1.625 million. Doll hairs. Jabbar Jalouk got a $200,000 raise. Billy Gonzalez signed a 1-year contract for $525,000. Mike P signed a 2-year deal that's going to pay him $575,000 and $600K. That is a pay increase for him. And then Ryan O'Hara is moving up to that quarterback coaching position, and he's now making $275,000. And then Tyler Miles got a $50,000 pay increase from $400,000 to $450,000. Then Jonathan DeCoster got a pay increase. Sorry, there's one more after this. A pay increase that he's going to earn $350 this season, and then $425,000 in 2026. And then Rob Sale has a 2-year deal worth $1.65 million. That is a step down. He made $1 million last year. He's going to make $800,000 and $850,000 respectively. Almost done here. Vinny Sinceri 2-year deal worth $1.425 million, $675,000 this season, $750,000 next season. Robert Bala is getting $1.225 million over the course of 2 years, $575,000 and $650,000. And then defensive backs coach Darren Wilson's going to make $525,000 and $550,000 respectively.
I wonder, do you have where we rank in the SEC or in college football, like staff wise, with that pay? I'm asking a lot. I know I'm asking a lot.
If you give me a minute, I will look.
But that look like sound like
talk about how you would spend that bread.
Oh, how I would spend it? Like whose salary do I got?
Anybody, pick one.
If I pick, give me Napier's salary. You told me to pick. Give me Billy bag. Yeah, and I'm riding just like Billy ride. Billy got the Maybach, no tint on it, factory. Not a whole lot of hoopla, like big boy bread. You ain't gotta, when you got the big boy whip, you ain't really gotta be putting rims on it to say I got money. Like they kind of know.
Ain't no need to make no modifications on him once you got something like that.
Nah, you factory that boy, man. You don't need no shenanigans. Now I think the staff is
I've got some out of date information.
I was about to tell Brandon he in the comments asking about my GPA. Let me just give you a quick little summary about my GPA. I got 16 credits left right now that I'm enrolled in summer courses. So that tell you all you need to know about my GPA. I'm almost there though.
We're working on it.
We're working on it. Light a little bit, man. I should be done by maybe New Year. Maybe I'll be a fall graduate. Let's see.
That's dope, man. Finish it up though, bro. It don't matter as long as you get it, man.
Yeah, for real.
That's all that matter.
I don't know, Corey, is the answer. Where
all right, we'll follow up next show.
They were, I think that there's probably still going to be information. At one point, they were ranked 9th. That money has gone up. I'm sure everybody else's money's gone up, but once you get past like 4, it all is very much similar within maybe, $1 million between like 5th and 11th, right? Or 10th. So a lot of money invested. A lot of people got raises. Some people, I'm kind of surprised, no offense, got a raise. But also, but yeah, that's where Florida sits. Shout out to those guys for making that kind of money.
Let me ask you this: if you were a coach, would you like that? You don't have a choice in it, but would you like that your salary's public like that?
Hell no.
I think it just is what it is. Like, I think that's what you get when you sign up for it. Like, unless you go to Notre Dame or Miami or, Private Vanderbilt. I think it just comes with the territory. But I mean, I don't want my bread flashed on the internet for everybody to be critical.
Take a picture, like if I rob sale, I'm just like, all right, bro. Like, y'all know I lost money. That's crazy. Now, if I gain money, like it's cool. But if I start losing money, like, bro, everybody got to watch me lose bread, man.
I hope he's able to survive in Gainesville with $1.65 million over the next 2 years. I know the price has gone up to live in Gainesville, but
sure, he will be fine.
And that probably doesn't include the Nike money and the car allowance, and probably you won't have to pay for your meal. Maybe Rob Sale, maybe not anymore, but maybe before Rob Sale had to pay for his meals. But I'm sure you go out, people are, I got your dinner or whatever. People love buying rich people stuff that they don't have to pay for. Yeah.
You're winning.
Never get it. Forget the people who don't got money and need help. Just help all the people who got all the money and give them more free shit.
Right. Right.
All right. So, Corey, want to talk about Josh Pate. You've got something cooking with Josh Pate here soon. But he had Gators ranked number 9 in his post-spring 2025 top 25.
Yeah,
number 9. Too high, right about where it should be, too low. What do you
I don't think we come in the official rankings that high is what I would say. I think talent-wise and, expectations-wise, it's right about, 9, 10. Even if you go the top, 12 teams, you're talking about playoffs, right? So everybody's got us right around that playoff mark, and I think the expectations is on point. I just don't think when the official rankings come out, preseason will be. I think we'll be around 13, 14, maybe 15. If they got us top 12 in preseason rankings, even if top 15, this is new territory for our team, and we're going to talk about watching the rat poison a little bit, but I'm not mad at Josh Pate. Whenever you put out rankings, everybody will lash out, especially in the top 15. So he got a lot of Georgia backlash, but he see what we see. It's a talent in every position. He had a good explanation on his podcast on why he was bullish on Florida at the quarterback position, the progress he's seen at the end of the season. Dallas Wilson, DJ Lagway, that defense, that front seven, it's set up. I'm a big Josh Pate fan, so yeah, I agree with 9.
Josh Pate had Clemson 1. I was a little surprised about that. Texas 2. I'm not as bullish on Texas. Penn State 3, Alabama 4, LSU 5, Notre Dame 6, Oregon 7, Ohio State 8, Florida 9, Oklahoma 10, Georgia 11, Miami 12, Arizona State 13. I would just kind of leave it there. So that's where Florida's at there. Before we move on, because I want to talk. Well, hold on one second. I want to give a shout out to our friends over at Game Time Sidekicks. Go visit GameTimeSidekicks.com. Get one of these really cool cups. This one says Gator Boys on it. Jordan's got one. They've got a bunch of different lids. They got a bunch of different sizes. Keep your hot drinks hot, your cold drinks cold. Go visit GameTimeSidekicks.com. Use promo code Stadium15 at checkout and get 15% of your offer. Go support a Gator fan living in Knoxville, building a really cool business. GameTimeSidekicks.com. Promo code Stadium15. Corey, I want to talk about the rat poison comment, but I do want to go over just a few more. Ari Wasserman, he hosts a podcast with Andy Staples 4-on-3. He had the Gators ranked 11th. He had Penn State number 1 overall. And then ESPN in their post-spring, way too early top 25 has the Gators 19. So we've got 9, 11, and 19. Corey, you probably are somewhere between 11 and 19.
I like 13, 14 around that area. I think that's where we end up coming in at for the preseason polls from the coaches. And, they do the Associated Press, AP. I think in those polls, we'd be around like 13, 14, 15-ish. But I'm not mad at any of those. What about you, Jordan? You like where we at in those? Where you got us ranked preseason in your mind?
I think I like that one. That's a spot where, not to say the expectations ain't too high, but you ain't like top 5 type crazy mess to where you getting too much hype behind you. But then again, you're not totally out the mix. So I like that spot being at 13. Obviously, that's a spot to where if you take a loss, that's an unexpected loss, you can potentially get yourself into some trouble. But overall, I'm not mad with what it does for the players. I think for the players, it kind of gives them boys a little bit of hope to where we could potentially make a run to get in the playoff spot, as well as like we close. They kind of put us in close.
Like dangling the carrot a little bit.
Right. So I like that.
You can't get too high
with that with all. Right.
That's how I see it. I see it as like more of a dangling the carrots. Like, hey, we see you guys. Y'all ended the season well. Y'all got some potential. But I don't think like being ranked where they're putting us at, some of these media guys, is enough for this team to get satisfied. I think they're still a little hungry, and the carrot's being dangled a little bit.
I'll be honest with you. I trust Josh Pate's top 25 more than I'll trust the AP and the coach's top 25. That's just obviously that doesn't matter, but I feel like one probably consumes a lot more football than the other. This is my thing about Florida. I think, Corey, you're right. I think maybe Florida comes in somewhere between 14 and 17 or 18. And I think some of that is because they're a little unknown, right? Everybody knows DJ Lagway. There's some question marks of at wide receiver if you don't pay attention to the team. Maybe you don't think Florida's running back room is as good as it's probably going to be. Offensive line, obviously you have an All-American, but what does the defense look like? I mean, I think Florida's got a bunch of dogs. I think that Florida could very easily surprise and be a much better team than what they're going to be ranked at the beginning of the season. If you looked objectively at what Florida is returning, what their team could be with a healthy DJ Lagway and with everything that they have around them. So I put a little bit more faith in Josh Pate's understanding or Ari Wasserman's understanding of what the top 25 might look like. And again, it doesn't matter, right? Like there's going to be people that say it doesn't matter, just win football games. It's like, I get it, but it's May 12th and we need content to talk about, right?
Yeah, you gotta talk about stuff.
But I think that Florida is returning enough where I look at some of these other rosters and there's just not the holes that I think that some of these other teams that are going to be put ahead of them have. Certainly you would like a little bit more depth, but I think with the transfer portal and NIL, a lot of teams are lacking depth because like with Zaquan Patterson and like some of these other guys, like you're going to chase the bag, and who's chasing the bag? The people that aren't getting the bag, and they're not getting the bag probably because they're not starting. And so that second guy off the bench, that third guy off the bench, right? You saw with Kelby Collins, you saw with a few others, they're leaving. So, but I think that Florida 22 on 22 or 24 on 24, you throw, kicker and punter in there. I mean, I like Florida's 24. I mean, I'm not obsessed with all 24, but I like that 24 that they're going to throw out there.
I even like our depth. I feel good about my starters, but at almost every position, and most importantly, offensive line, I feel good about the two deep. And it hasn't been like that in a long, even in the secondary, right? Where we got, I need Jordan Castell to step his game up a little bit more. I like Bryce Thornton. I think he's just gonna, double down on what he did last year. But even when I look at the young guys behind them, I think them guys are capable and are gonna play. This staff has shown, the ability and the want to play just young guys at even the safety position. Where I don't like it, but I think Lagunza and Stubbs both are dogs that can go play and get reps right away. Cornerback. We got guys. Even if Dijon, he's going out, you got a guy. It's some uncertainty. We want to see Teddy Foster with the bullets flying, but that's why you recruit. You recruit to bring studs in, and when it's time for them to play, you don't go get the porter and bring some 7-year senior that got average stats because you want to be safe. I want to get a safe corner. Nah, throw that young Florida boy out there, bro. He's been in the fire at practice going against dogs, bro. Even though he hasn't started, fans are a little, man, I don't know what we're gonna get out of even the defensive line. Most of my name, Burrow, and some of these other dudes we haven't seen. Oh, let's go get a defensive tackle because I don't know what we're gonna get out of him. Yo, that's what we went and got. We beat Georgia for him for a reason. Not to put a 6th year and a 5th year guy ahead of him. Nah, play the young boys, man. Like, it's gonna pay dividends. Like, get these young boys to play them early, and we got that.
Can't be good.
Yeah, no doubt. I think I like the depth too. To double down on what you were saying, Dan. What do you think about like his ranking? You say you didn't like Clemson at 1. Who do you like at 1? Because even the Penn State at 1, that this year's wide open. Like,
yeah, I don't know. And the more I read down the list, maybe I'm like, that makes sense, right? Like, I think Cade Klubnik's gonna be good. I think that they return a lot of players. I think they used the transfer portal smartly, and then they went in this year and got a few guys there. So maybe Clemson is 1. I'll have a more seasoned take by August.
Season lies. Let it marinate.
Yeah, no, I mean, once football's over, man, I got to decompress a little bit. But I think there's also so much shakeup, right? Like, there's going to be people that are on rosters now that really complement that roster. But the more I read down that list, I was like, maybe not. Maybe Clemson is 1. I do like Penn State's. I like some of Penn State. I think that they've got some holes there. I think Notre Dame could be good if they can figure out their quarterback situation. I know they had, the one guy that lost the job transfer out. I just like Marcus Freeman a lot, man. And I normally am a Notre Dame hater, right? So,
big fan of that guy.
But I think you make a salient point there, right? I don't think. Obviously Alabama recruits really well. I'd be curious to see what they look like without Jalen Milroe. But I do think it is open, and I think that that's one of the things that NIL and the transfer portal are going to create is a lot more openness, at least at the beginning of the year, that you're not going to have that dominant team. I don't know if Georgia's worse than Florida preseason wise, at least if you look at the roster, they've got some question marks for sure.
I like that.
That's a bold take. I mean, I like the take.
Now I like Clemson at 1. Like, even with Josh Pate, it's like quarterback position that makes everything go. And Klubnik, I wasn't even a big fan of him until the playoffs. He got in the playoffs, even in the ACC championship game. You start seeing some dog in that kid. And they got receivers that are dangerous. Whenever you got skills positions like that, you got an opportunity, bro. And then in a weak conference as well. Like what are they about to play for the grand scheme of it all? Florida State, Miami, like none of those teams. There's no juggernauts. SMU is probably gonna be their toughest, matchup. To be real with you, when you want to just coach for coach that can really get some stuff done, and they're not as talented as Clemson.
Well, no, and SMU lost a lot, right? I mean, they went back to the portal. They got some good players, but they lost a lot. I don't know if SMU is going to be as good. I mean, I think that Rhett Lashley is one of the better coaches in the ACC, and I think that he's going to earn himself a big spot. I mean, SMU has a boatload of bread, so they might be able to pay to keep him, especially now that they're in the ACC. But I do think it's wide open, especially when I look at it. I think the Heisman race is wide open. Ohio State's always that sleeper team, right? Any team that has Jeremiah Smith, I know that they're replacing a lot, right? They had a lot of guys graduate and everything else, but any team with Jeremiah Smith, you got to think, and Caleb Downs back there. I mean, I think that Ohio State, obviously defending national champion, but that's a team that is going to put on a show each and every week.
Who do they end up getting DC wise? I know they lost Jim Knowles.
They got.
I'm forgetting. News just flies by.
They got Matt Patricia. Former NFL guy, NFL head coach.
Okay.
tough replacement, right? Obviously, but Penn State went and got Jim Knowles, right? That's
a big upgrade for them.
That's a huge upgrade. And that's what I think one of the things that, you can be critical of James Franklin and not winning some games against rivals and stuff like that. But he looked at their offense 3 years ago, went and hired the Kansas guy that everybody's obsessed over. Right. And then this year he said, hey, our defense wasn't what we wanted to do. We're going to go poach our biggest rival and make him the highest paid defense coordinator. I mean, I know it's easy to laugh at Penn State, but
you see Josh Pate's story on that. Like he was dialing after the natty. He was calling Penn State about the job. That's nasty work, bro. Everybody be mad at the players for the portal. These coaches ain't too far off, man. Like he was chasing the bag as well. How you leave Ohio State to go to the rivalry right after the national championship game? You already on the phone. Confetti's falling, fam.
Boy said money calling.
It's like that one gif, right, of the guy just holding a couple stacks in his hands. Cole Klubnik, everybody knows his name. He's been on this show a few times. ESPN college analyst. Ranked his top 5 returning SEC offensive lines this year, and had Florida number 5, Alabama 4, Auburn 3, Texas A&M 2, and Georgia 1. I'm a little surprised with Florida returning 4 of their 5 starters, including an All-American. I like Florida. Georgia's gonna have the dogs, right? I mean, I totally get that. But looking at that list, I think the Florida returns a little bit better of an offensive line from what we've seen proven. I think that Alabama has the 5 stars and can develop and everything else. But I think what we see right now, and I'll be honest with you, I don't know enough about Auburn. Texas A&M obviously has a great offensive line, but kind of surprised Florida's not in that 3 position there. He was very, very complimentary of UF, thinks that Florida has 10 guys that can play this season, very complimentary of Austin Barber, Najee Harris, Jake Slaughter, and Damian George. So again, that right tackle spot is the one that's open, and that's going to be Bryce Lovett's spot that he gets. They do have some depth there with Fletcher Westfall, Rod Kearney, Caden Jones, who I think will play. Cam Waits will play probably more at that guard position. But I think with them having the longevity that they have, obviously the proven track record that they had last year, and then having another year with Tyler Miles, I mean, I'm very bullish on the Gators offensive line this year.
I am too. I'm not mad at 5 though. Give him. He start gazing a little bit. I got a lot of respect for Cole Kubelik though. He call it fairly good when it comes to offensive line. But I think it's some stargazing. You got to look at potential with some of these guys, and naturally they're gonna go look at it and see, what kind of recruiting classes and what these guys were on paper. So there's some stargazing going on. But like you said, proven production, what's coming back. I like us, and also I like that. Give these guys a little edge. Yeah, let them go earn it on the field.
I mean, I don't know the last time Florida had a top 5 preseason offensive line.
You feel me? You got to take it when it comes, man. I'm excited for this season, though, man. I want to see what these boys can do. Hopefully, they're building the chemistry around there, the O-line getting together with everybody and just bonding and let them boys go play for each other, man. I forgot who I was having a conversation with earlier this week, but basically just saying how I think it's a kid I trained. He was asking me what's the difference between college and NFL. And I said, well, the NFL is more of a business. It's not as close and feeling like a brotherhood versus college. These are like your brothers. Obviously, it may be changed now because the transfer portal. 1 week your locker mate's your locker mate. Next week he's gone. But before it used to be like that. Like, you had some brothers in the locker room. You had some boys that you was going to see for at least that season.
Yeah.
But
that's a missing thing. That's what a lot of people is discrediting. Like, even from football is the ultimate team sport, and that chemistry and that brotherhood of going through the trenches with a fellow freshman, learning the campus together, learning, spring camp, learning how to get through a camp. Man, I used to play in 3-a-days, so I know how that really is. It's really a brotherhood. And the transfer portal is killing that. The teams, I think, that are going to consistently make runs and be consistent in football. Football, you got to have – this is not basketball where Ty goes and could patchwork together a team and go win a natty. Football just don't work like that. You can't patchwork 22 guys and make it all work, bro.
Yeah, you got to have chemistry. You got to have them boys playing for one another. And that kind of make dudes play hard because at the end of the day, what they always say, hard work beat talent. Talent don't work hard kind of deal. So if y'all boys constantly –
most of the time.
Most of the time.
Coral Springs High School could have
depends how good the talent is.
But when Ailey's line up on the other side, tell you what.
Well, I think one of the advantages
is
even if you look at when we play Miami this year, right? How many of the Miami starters going to be guys that played last year? Most of our guys took that L. In Gainesville, they got some bitterness to come back and some get back in their soul. Most of Miami guys are paid merchants that are coming there to just do a job. You feel me? And that's the difference, Phil. You want guys with a little rivalry chip on their shoulder and a little edge. Like, Nah, we got to get y'all back for standing on our statues.
Exactly.
What's up, this dog? This dog is like out of control today.
Each other falls, trying to get a little showtime.
All right, let's see. The ESPN, or no, I'm sorry, Pro Football Focus also released their top 10 returning players at every position entering the 2025 season. 4 Gators are ranked in the top 10. 1 was ranked as an honorable mention as the number 11th player at his position. Jake Slaughter, number 1, no surprise, All-American. Obviously, huge expectations out of him. So shout out to Jake Slaughter. Tyreek Sapp ranked as the number 7 edge. DJ Lagway, the number 7 quarterback. Eugene Wilson, the number 10 wide receiver. Caleb Banks, the number 11 defensive lineman. I think Caleb Banks is ranked a little too low. I think Caleb Banks, based on what I was reading about this earlier, in my opinion. Now, this is ranked based on the way that PFF does their stats and the way that they score a game in a way that a player plays. I think on paper, 11th makes sense, obviously, because it's a mathematical formula. But I think if you watch the players play, I think that Caleb Banks is a first-round draft pick out of that group. A little surprised Eugene Wilson at 10. To be honest with you, not because I don't think that he could be a top 10 player, but just because you haven't seen a ton out of Eugene Wilson in terms of availability the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, they've got more going off potential with him.
That boy looking swole. That boy looking crazy. He eating
right,
weights.
What?
Yeah, he eating weights. A whole lot of Zach Alberti has said that on I do the little logo talk live stream. He said that there was a lot of Percy-like gains. We're not saying he's gonna go do anything Percy Harvin done. Like we passed that, right? We're just saying from a body gaining muscle, like that type of off season, like he hasn't seen anything like that since Percy Harvin. And now the pictures hit the timeline over the weekend. Kids yoked. It's just all about availability for him. If he's healthy, like look out. Straight up.
Your boy tired of getting banged up. Pause. He got to put some muscle on so he'll feel them hits the wall.
Yeah,
it's real in there.
Same with Cormani Wilson or Cormani McLean. Pardon me.
Yeah,
speaking of a Wilson, Dallas Wilson, ESPN released a way too early top 25 newcomers list. Dallas Wilson, 19th. I'm just going to make a hot take here. I think he finishes higher than 19th as a newcomer to college football.
Man, put me top 3. If not 1, you know, I think he's gonna have a real big season. We already know like the type of and shout out to whoever is like. It's a lot of things he's doing right. But it's a lot of things he's doing right from what I'm seeing, even from a personal standpoint, marketing. He's doing a lot of things the right way. But that kid is gonna be special. Just stay healthy, stay out the way. We got a big arm quarterback. It's the right combination for him. He's set up to. We had some freshmen come in with a lot of hype, even like Tyree Cleveland. Some of the dudes was like highly recruited coming in. We had high expectations, but the quarterback room wasn't on point for them to really go flourish.
Exactly.
These guys got the right quarterback situation, and shout out to the staff having the foresight to not go aggressive in the transfer portal at the receiver position because they knew what they got. You know, high school recruiting wise, that they had guys that could go contribute year one. They should have put Vernell on that list too.
Vernell, that sleeper though. Everybody gonna sleep on Vernell until it's right in their face, and then everybody gonna say, "I told you."
It's obvious. So, they should have. Right. It's obvious. Like, but they just sleeping on them a little bit. But Vernell's gonna be a killer.
All good. That's just more fuel to the fire. That's all.
Yeah.
Who do you think has the best freshman campaign on the team? Dallas Wilson.
Yeah, it's hard to go without Dallas, bro. He just has
definitely.
He just looks the part. You know what I mean? He's not.
I'm about to say,
Jeremiah
really, you
Smith.
can't look at him. Right.
Like, I'm not going to compare him to Jeremiah Smith, but what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to say, hey, you look at Jeremiah Smith, you look at some of the things about Dallas Wilson and say, hey, maybe we're playing on the same ball field here.
Come on.
When you get in the top receiver out of the state of Florida, you got to kill him. I don't care what year it is.
I'm trying to
top 5, top 10. You grabbing those guys out of the state of Florida, you getting a top 5 receiver out of the state, you getting a bona fide killer. It's just some of these in the past, we're letting the 5 stars, instead of throwing them in the fire year 1 and seeing if they could just go see ball, get ball, throwing 50-50 balls and letting them know in the huddle, hey, you got a slant here, because they may not pick up the playbook as fast, but you got to play those young boys. But you getting a top 5 receiver out of the state of Florida, I don't care. Any given year, you got a killer, and we got 2 of them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, boys, that brings us to the last thing that I want to talk about. I want to give special shout outs to these folks. They were elected into the UF Athletic Hall of Fame. Their names are, we'll start with the name that you most know. That's Marquise Pouncey, Keitra Hunter from gymnastics. She was there from 2012 to 2015. Lauren Hager, softball 2012 to 2015. Marquise Dendy from 2012 to 2015. Kitty Cullen, who was on that inaugural lacrosse team from 2010 to 2013. I know we don't talk about lacrosse a lot on this show. They actually won their first ever NCAA tournament game this past weekend in an epic overtime matchup with, I believe it was Stanford. So shout out to her. She was the leading goal scorer of that team. Charlotte Browning, track and field and cross country, 2008 to 2010. And then Teresa Andrews, who was in swimming from 1981 to 1983. Got to wonder what put her over the edge. All these years in between, but shout out to Teresa. Shout out to everybody that's in the UF Hall of Fame. Huge honor for those folks. All right, guy. Oh, and Marquise Dendy, want to give him a special shout out. He was the first UF athlete to ever win the Bowerman Trophy, which is like the Heisman Trophy for track and field. Let's give one final shout out to our friends over at Alumni Hall. Go visit alumnihall.com. Go visit them in Gainesville on Archer Road, or go visit them online. Anything that you want, from polos to t-shirts to accessories to Father's Day gifts to early Christmas and Hanukkah shopping, whatever it might be, any gift giving that you have in the near future, go visit alumnihall.com or go visit them in Gainesville on Archer Road, just off of the I-75 exit.
I like your Father's Day plug there, Dan. Like, we got to make
Father's
Day great again.
Ties, tie bars.
I don't need none of that though. I need some fly. I don't need no socks and ties. What we always get, bro. Shot glasses.
Hey,
glass chessboard.
Yeah, Harlem and Raven. You listening? He doesn't want it.
That's why I'm talking all loud. Like they're right there. They hear me. They're in the room next door.
He purposefully said it. All right. Any other topics you guys want to go over before we close out the show today? Corey, you got song of the week, by the way.
Oh, nice. No, I'm good, man. Good show.
Great show. Again, for everybody asking that maybe didn't listen in the beginning of the show, Nick will be back in a few weeks dealing with a few personal things. If you could keep him in your thoughts. As always, if you're watching on YouTube, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share it with a friend or family. If you are on Apple or Apple or Spotify, go to the podcast app, rate us 5 stars, leave us a review, please. It helps us with the algorithms. We had to reset all of that. We lost everything, had some haters in there with some 1 stars. And if you're on X, hit the retweet button, let everybody know. Follow us on social media. All of it is at Stadium and Gale. We're most active on Twitter or X and TikTok. We got to get better at the rest. I don't have Facebook, so I don't know how to do that. But Corey, your song of the week.
Man, why not? Let me go with some Jameson, man. Patiently.
Okay.
Commercial. Awesome. You gotta keep it wholesome, man.
Love it.
I don't want to shoot nobody. Next time.
See you at the same corner, same time next week. See ya.